Hello students, today we are going to talk about the type theories of personality, and the objectives for today's discussion will be to understand the concept of type theory of personality, to discuss the various type theories of personality, to have a look over the various types of personalities, and lastly to find out the loopholes in the type theory of personality. Psychologists regard personality as a person's unique pattern of thinking, emotions and behavior. It is the special blend of talent, values, hopes, loves, hates and habits that makes each of us a unique person. It is a term not only to describe an individual's reputation, the way the person acts and is known socially, but also the internal processes that creates that reputation. Watson, the father of behaviorism, on the basis of his behavioral studies, concluded that personality is the sum of activities that can be discovered by actual observations over a long enough period of time to give reliable information. This, however, reflected a very narrow meaning of the term personality. During the same years, Morton Prince tried to give personality a broader base of accepting the role of both environmental and hereditary factors in consulting what is termed as personality. In his words, personality is the sum total of all the biological innate disposition, impulses, tendencies, appetites and instincts of the individual and the dispositions and tendencies acquired by experience. It would be easy to get lost without a framework for understanding personality. How do our thoughts, actions and feelings relate to one another? How does personality develop? Why do some people suffer from psychological problems? How can they be helped? To answer such questions, psychologists have created a dazzling array of theories. A personality theory is a system of concepts, assumptions, ideas and principles proposed to explain personality. These theories, in one or the another, try to describe the basic structure and underlying entities or constructs involved in personality, along with the processes by which these entities interact. The theories of personality in general can be classified into the following broad categories. Number 1, theories adopting the type approach. The viewpoints of Hippocrates, Kretschmer, Sheldon and Jung belong to this category. Theories adopting the trait approach. Theories like Allport's theory and Cattell's theory of personality are based on this approach. Theories adopting the type-cum-trait approach. Eisenach's theory of personality can be put under this category. Theories adopting the psychoanalytical approach. Psychoanalytical theory of Freud, theory of individual psychology by Adler, social relationship theory of Hone and Erikson's theory of psychosocial development may be included in this category. Theories adopting the humanistic approach like Carl Rogers' self-theory and Maslow's self-actualization theory are based on this approach. Theories adopting the learning approach, Dollar and Miller's learning theory, Bandura and Walter's theory of social learning can be put into this category. Type theories of personality. It has been the nature of persons from ancient times to name and classify objects of his or her environment and human beings into different categories called types. The old system of typology still continues, and even in modern times, psychologists have developed various typologies as far as human personality is concerned. Theories adopting the type approach advocate that human personalities can be put into a few clearly defined types, and each person, depending upon his or her behavioral characteristics, somatic structure, blood types, fluids in the body, or personality traits, can be described as belonging to a certain type. Greek physicians were the first in the 5th BC who classified people into 4 broad categories on the basis of emotional and temperamental characteristics. Hippocrates theorized that human body consists of 4 fluids: The personality of an individual is typed by the dominance of the one of them in the body. Dominance of fluid like blood gives birth to a personality type called sanguine. These people used to be light-hearted, optimistic, happy, hopeful and accommodating. The people with yellow bile fluid are choleric, irritable, angry, but passionate and strong with active imagination. The people with dominance of fluid like phlegm are phlegmatic. They are temperamentally cold, calm, slow or sluggish and indifferent. Black bile. These people are melancholic and are temporarily as bad-tempered, dejected, depressed, pessimistic, deplorable and self-involved. There are two types of type theories. Theories of physical type and theories of temperamental type. Theories of physical type. Kretschmer's classification belongs to this theories of physical type. Physical typology of Kretschmer, a German psychiatrist, began as a study of two extreme mental disorders called schizophrenia and manic depressive psychosis. From these, he developed the idea of normal temperamental types called the schizoid and cycloid respectively. Cycloid are mostly pycnic, build a relatively broad trunk, short arms and legs, inclined to put on weight. Schizoids are mostly narrow and elongated with long extremities or athletic. Ernest Kretschmer classified all human beings into certain biological types according to their physical structure and has allotted certain personality characteristics associated with each physical makeup. Number 1, pycnic. These are the people who are stocky, full-chested or popular. Asthenic, weak, tall, sensitive and thin. Athletic, strong. Pycnic. Pycnics are having fat bodies. They are of medium stature, has soft face, thick neck and rounded shoulders. Psychologically, they are sociable, jolly, easygoing, popular and good-natured. Athletic. These are the people who possess balanced body with optimum level of energy. They have broad shoulders, trunk and developed limbs. They are found to be strong. Asthenic. They are lean, have long narrow face and narrow shoulders. Psychologically, they are found to be weak, tall and sensitive. Now, we will have a look over the Sheldon's classification as far as physical typology of personality is concerned. Dr. William H. Sheldon, an American surgeon, divided all human beings into 3 broad categories of physical dimensions and their corresponding temperamental characteristics. He believed that physical structure of the body is the determinant of personality characteristics. Sheldon tried to isolate dominant body traits and tried to relate them to psychological characteristics. He has mentioned the following 3 types of personalities. Number 1, endomorphs. The endomorph is physically quite round and is typified as the barrel of fun person. They tend to have wide hips and narrow shoulders, which makes them rather pear-shaped. Quite a lot of fat spread across the body, including upper arms and thighs. They have quite slim ankles and wrists, which only serves to accentuate the fatter other parts. Psychologically, these people are sociable, fun-loving, love of food, tolerant, relaxed, even-tempered, good-humored, with a love of comfort and has a need for affection. The second form of personality as far as Sheldon is concerned is ectomorph. The ectomorph is a form of opposite of the endomorph. Physically, they tend to have narrow shoulders and hips, a thin and a narrow face, with a high forehead, a thin and narrow chest and abdomen, thin legs and arms, and very little body fat. Even though they may eat as much as the endomorph, they never seem to put on weight. Psychologically, they are self-conscious, private, introverted, inhibited, socially anxious, artistic, intense, emotionally restrained, and thoughtful. The third type of personality is mesomorphs. The mesomorph is somewhere between the round endomorph and the thin ectomorph. Physically, they have the more desirable body and have large head, broad shoulders, narrow waist, muscular body with strong forearms and thighs, and very little body fat. They are generally considered as well proportioned. Psychologically, they are adventurous, courageous, indifferent to what others think or want, self-assertive and bold. They have zest for physical activity. They are competitive with a desire for power or dominance and have a love of risk or chance. Theories of temperamental type. Jung's classification belonged to this type theory of personality. Carl Jung, a physician by profession and a Swiss psychiatrist, came in contact with Freud and became his staunch supporter and follower, to the extent that Freud declared him as crown prince and beloved son. However, in the years that followed, very serious ideological differences, mainly on account of Freud's overemphasis on sex, developed between the two to such an extent that Jung established a separate school of thought called analytical psychology for experimenting with the propagating his ideas. Jung divided human beings into two groups according to whether their libido has been directed inwards or outwards. Libido for him was the fountain of life energy. He has classified human personalities in the following categories. Number 1, extroverts. He believed that in extroverts, the libido is directed outwards, towards other people and the outer environment. Hence, these people tend to be sociable and take a lot of interest in others and in the environment. Social workers, politicians, business executives may be typed as extroverts. Number 2, introverts. In introverts, the libido is directed inwards. Such people are inhibited in interpersonal relationships and stay absorbed in their own feelings, experiences, and consciousness. Introvert individual is shy, avoids people, and enjoys being alone. Scientists and philosophers may be termed as introverts. Later on, Jung discovered that most people show characteristics of both extroverts and introverts. If one plots a graph of extroversion and introversion indices for a group of people, one will get a normal probability curve rather than a bimodal curve. This indicates that a large chunk of people are neither extroverts nor introverts, but both. Jung gave such people the name as ambivert. Dear students, let us now have a critical evaluation of type theories of personality. As we know, it has been proved that psychological characteristics do not follow a bimodal distribution as the type theories suppose. They follow normal distribution of curve. There is no rigid consistency even within the same individual as the type theorists suppose. Man's behavior at the particular point of time depends upon the several variables, not only his cardinal or ruling traits, as the type theorists advocate. Another objection to type approach is that it lumps together different personality traits, but it is not corroborated by reality. To give an example, a man judged as an extrovert may be as touchy as an introvert may also. Notions about personality type stems from contact with rare personality descriptions of characters in novels. It might also have its basis from a few dramatic instances of one's behavior. Such real ideal types of personality are not found in real life. Dear students, we may conclude with this that type theories of personality is the oldest approach to the study of personality. In this approach, personality sketches of subjects is made according to the nuclear dominant traits in his personality. These theorists believe that personality is revealed in the distinctive characteristic ways in which a person reacts to every situation. Ernest Kretschmer, a type theorist, classified all human beings into certain biological types according to their physical structure and has allotted identified personality characteristics associated with each physical makeup. Dr. William Sheldon believes that physical structure of the body is the determinant of personality characteristics. Sheldon tried to isolate dominant body traits and tried to relate them to psychological characteristics. Carl Jung divided human beings into two groups, extroverts and introverts. Extroverts tend to be social and take a lot of interest in others and in the environment. Introverts are inhibited in interpersonal relationships and stay absorbed in their own feelings, experiences, and consciousness. With this, we conclude. I hope you have enjoyed and understood today's talk about type theories of personalities. Have a good day.